Ah, Wave Echo Cave. Now that's a tale worth telling, even if it's been 500 years. You see, there were once clans of dwarves and gnomes who made an agreement known as the Phandelver's Pact. They shared a rich mine in a wondrous cavern, and it wasn't just any mine. It was a mine full of precious minerals and great magical power. Human spellcasters joined forces with the dwarves and gnomes to bind and channel that energy into a great forge called the Forge of Spells, where they could craft magic items. It was a prosperous time for all. The nearby human town of Phandalin was doing well too, thanks to the mine. But then disaster struck. Orcs swept through the north, laying waste to everything in their path. They attacked Wave Echo Cave to seize its riches and magic treasures, and even hired evil mercenary wizards to help them. The ensuing battle destroyed much of the cavern, causing cave-ins and tremors that killed most of the defenders. The location of Wave Echo Cave was lost. But that didn't stop treasure seekers and opportunists from trying to find it. For centuries, rumors of buried riches attracted them to the area around Phandalin, but no one succeeded in locating the lost mine. It wasn't until recent years that people resettled the area, and that's when the Rockseeker brothers, a trio of dwarves, discovered the entrance to Wave Echo Cave. They planned to reopen the mines and restore the prosperity of the area. However, they weren't the only ones interested in the cave. The Black Spider, a mysterious villain who controlled a network of bandit gangs and goblin tribes in the area, had followed the Rockseekers to their prize. Now the Black Spider wanted Wave Echo Cave for himself, and he was taking steps to make sure no one else knew where it was. That's the story of Wave Echo Cave, as best as I can remember it. Of course, some of the details might be a bit fuzzy, but that's what you get when you're an old drunken rogue like me. I remember the day when I first met Gundren Rockseeker. We were in the bustling city of Neverwinter, and he approached us with a job offer. Gundren was a dwarf, and he needed our help to escort a wagon of supplies to the town of Phandalin. He had gone ahead with his warrior companion, Sildar Hallwinter, and it was our job to follow with the supplies. At first, the job seemed simple enough. We were to be paid 10 gold pieces each by the owner of Barthen's Provisions in Phandalin upon delivery of the wagon. It was a fair price for a straightforward job, or so we thought. As we made our way to Phandalin, we encountered a few bumps along the road. First, we were ambushed by goblins who were after the supplies in our wagon. We fought them off and continued on, but it was clear that something was amiss in these lands. When we finally arrived in Phandalin, we learned that Gundren and Sildar had not made it to the town yet. In fact, they were nowhere to be found. We spoke with the owner of Barthen's Provisions, and he expressed his concern for Gundren's safety. He offered us a reward if we could find him and bring him back safely. It wasn't long before we realized that something nefarious was happening in Phandalin. There were rumors of a mysterious villain known as the Black Spider who was after a valuable mine in the area. We had to tread carefully and watch our backs if we wanted to uncover the truth and rescue Gundren. Looking back, that job turned out to be much more than a simple delivery mission. But in the end, we succeeded in our quest and helped to bring peace to the town of Phandalin. It was a journey I'll never forget. As we made our way along the Tribor Trail, I couldn't help but feel a bit apprehensive. We had been traveling for days, and the closer we got to Phandalin, the more dangerous the road seemed. But we were determined to see our mission through and deliver Gundren's supplies to Barthen's Provisions. I remembered how excited Gundren had been when he hired us. He was always a bit of a mysterious fellow, but I had known him for years and trusted him. When he mentioned that he and his brothers had found something big, I couldn't help but be curious. But I didn't press him for details. After all, he was paying us well for our services. As we walked, I chatted with my fellow travelers and got to know them better. We all had different backgrounds and skills, but we had come together for this mission. I found myself grateful for their company and their willingness to face the dangers of the road with me. But our peaceful journey was interrupted by the sound of approaching goblin raiders. We had heard rumors of the Cragmaw tribe in the area, but we had hoped to avoid them. It seemed our luck had run out. We quickly readied ourselves for battle, knowing that our mission and our lives were on the line.